Let's go. Today, I'm giving you my locks over under plays.
Scared money don't make money.
All right, we're starting off hot. Under 9.5 for the Tennessee Volunteers, the darlings of the SEC. And before we go any further, I want to get everyone on the same page because some of you don't know what all of this means. So I want you to ignore what's in the parentheses. All you need to focus on is that decimal number right to the next of each and every one of those teams. And if you believe Tennessee, whose number is set at 9.5, will go 9-3 or worse, you take the under. If you think they'll go 10-2 or better, you take the over. Both games do not count towards win totals. Now, I took some heat recently for saying Tennessee doesn't have the right quarterback pick. If you want to see that video, it's floating in the top right corner of your screen. But I think it's more than that why I'm fading the Volunteers. Now, you take a look at the schedule. I do think it is very soft. Virginia made a disastrous hiring of a coach, and the at Florida game doesn't look all that menacing with the Gators not fielding all that special of a team this year. I do think UTSA is a tricky upset special game. They have a year 7 quarterback, a coach who's familiar with the SEC, and an experienced defense. And of course, Beamer ball is always tricky in and of itself. And then after the bye week, Texas A&M, I think, is actually going to be pretty solid. You have a back-to-back road game scenario. Teams never win both of those games in back-to-back road games. We also just did a video on that. That's floating in the top right corner of your screen. And, of course, you still have Georgia. So if you don't have the right quarterback pick, you lose a lot of really good draft picks on both sides of the football. Jalen Hyatt, Cedric Tillman, they aren't slouches. This is an underplay. Very easy one for me. We now get to Kentucky, who brings in Devin Leary from the portal, and I love the over 6.5. But this is a danger you run into. The number has honestly moved up to 7 at most books, and now up to 7.5 with plus money to the over. Okay, so that's one thing. These numbers aren't static. They change just based on how people are betting. I might still like the over 7.5 for a lot of different reasons. Now, I know what a lot of Wildcat fans that watch our channel are going to say. You have crapped on us all summer.
Absolutely accurate. There's no mystery in that. I'm a believer in 8. I believe in 8 for a lot of reasons.
So yes, that's the deepest dive. We'll also link it down below. We've ever done on this channel, how the Wildcats have manipulated the rest of the conference, and no one wants to say anything about it except right here. Yes, we're always going to shoot you straight here on Power Hour SEC, but I believe in this final year of schedule manipulation, the Wildcats are going to go out with a freaking bang, and it's because of that man in the blue hoodie. Liam Cohen is back to go along with Devin Leary. So enjoy it while you can, Wildcat fans, because this schedule is soft. That is the easiest opening month I have ever seen in the history of the Southeastern Conference, and you get a Florida team at home who won't be all that great. So we're looking at a 5-0 start, and even if you lose to Georgia, I like them in that bounce-back spot versus Missouri, who has to play LSU the week before. And they get this portion of the schedule, right? A bye week before they play Tennessee, who will be coming off a back-to-back road game. Now, I am not a Mark Stoops fan. I would sell all your Stoops stock, and I think that $9 million contract is going to get really ugly. But I think they very well could finally beat Tennessee. Now, they do get a little unlucky the last year of the schedule format that they draw Alabama. That's a 1-6 shot that they would play them in this spot. Still, this is one of the weaker Alabama teams. I don't think Mississippi State's that great. South Carolina is going to be so banged up, and that's going to be a look-ahead spot for the Clemson game for them. And, yeah, I think they beat Louisville as well, first year under Brom. Oh, buddy. This is one I do not love, but I'm going to give it to you because I am making a bet against one of the most crucial aspects of a college football program. More on that in just a second, but I want to tell you that I actually do like this Mississippi State roster, right? This is a very experienced team in the trenches, and I love Xavier Thomas. He was my #1 player, skill position-wise, coming out of the state of Louisiana just a few years ago, and he was only a 3-star. He enters the portal, and now he's back as a returner wearing that new single-digit #1. I think he is going to be a very big-time player for them, but the issue is this right here, okay? No offense at all to Zach Arnett, but this is a conference loaded with Hall of Fame level coaches, And he is a first-year guy taking over a program that was run by Mike Leach very differently. They are getting away from the air raid. I didn't love their OC hire, and I do feel the schedule is semi-favorable. I don't think this is a gauntlet per SEC West standards, but I still don't like it. So I am leaning towards the under here. I don't love it, but I also think Will Rogers is just a little overvalued. So if you ask me, if I don't love your head coach hire and I don't love your quarterback and you're kind of a middle of the road team, I'm going to get you at 6-6 at best, but I do like the fact that Ole Miss game is in Starkville. Alrighty. This is going to ruffle some feathers. A&M over 7.5. And I know it sounds hypocritical because I've been very critical of Stoops and Jimbo, but it's because of this man right here, Bobby freaking Petrino. You can ask any Arkansas fan, and the Hogs support Power Hour SEC more than anyone, maybe outside of LSU. The truth is, when Bobby is cooking, he's cooking, right? Normally, at pretty much every one of his stops, he has the offense getting in the top 5 nationally within the first 2 years. So maybe he's washed, maybe he's past his prime, but keep in mind this defense is going to be very good. I love what they have at the skill position on both sides of the football. But just take a look at the raw talent. Blue chip ratio, the amount of 4 stars are better, about the same percentage as Georgia. And this next stat is from my guy Rob B. He tweeted this out via Fox Sports. Take a look at returning starters. A&M's got 3 more than anybody in the SEC. So one major disappointment, and we discussed this in the Kentucky deep dive, for the Jimbo Fisher era is, well, the Aggies have had easier schedules than pretty much everyone else in the SEC West, and this is no exception. I don't think Miami Week 2 is something you should be too worried about. I still think they're a disaster. You are lucky to get Auburn early in the season. I wouldn't want to face a Hugh Freeze offense that really gets going later in the year. And Arkansas and Alabama, while both of these teams are really talented, they will be playing on the back end of a back-to-back road game. And then this game versus Tennessee could be very tough. Tennessee will be coming off a bye week, but ask LSU this question. You can lose to a cross-division team and still end up winning the West. Now, I would like to issue an apology to each and every one of the Aggie fans that do watch this channel. I made a mistake in this video, and I believe it got shared on TexAgs.com. I said you only had 2 teams, and 2 is a lot, by the way, that were on the back end of back-to-back road games. We just discussed that, Arkansas and Alabama. But I just now saw that South Carolina is also on the back end of a back-to-back road game, and you will be coming off a bye week. I'm telling you right now, I think the schedule is Jimbo-proof. All he has to do is get the heck out of the way. And I think this final game versus LSU on Thanksgiving weekend very well could be the SEC West decider. I like the Aggies not only to go over their win total, I think they'll be over by the LSU game. I think you should sprinkle some on SEC West Championship.
Yes, sir.
Come on now, Pitt. We're getting to the Razorbacks in just a second. But you can see for yourself, that was actually the second video we've ever done on this channel, or third, whatever. We gave out 7 over-unders, and we got them all correct. And that includes our leans. So I'm going to give you a few leans. I don't feel too great about these. Alabama under 10.5. Auburn over 6.5. Staying away from Florida. Staying away from... I would lean Georgia in the under. Staying away from LSU at 9.5. Also staying away from Missouri at 6.5. I do lean over for Ole Miss. I hate that Week 2 game versus Tulane for them. South Carolina, I think Shane Beamer's special, and if he gets 8 wins, he's the coach of the year. But I am leaning under for South Carolina and over for Vandy. So, I'm going to say the best for last. Arkansas, over 6.5. Now, I'm going to tell you why on our next Hog live stream Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central. And look at this right here. We are giving away a KJ Jefferson card. All you got to do is sign up for Underdog Fantasy, get in our fantasy league, follow all the directions down below, and you can win this KJ Jefferson refractor, baby. It's got this nice little rainbow finish. Now, I have a KJ video that I worked really hard on. One crazy Jefferson stat. that I think Auburn and Kentucky fans would find to be very interesting. Bang! It's floating right now in front of your face. Let's go. It's that season, baby. Power Hour SEC. Bah! And tonight we're doing that chicken spaghetti. Let's go!